Welcome to After Dark at the Fixed Ops Roundtable, featuring Cara Delane and Ted Ings. This episode is brought to you by BG Products, partners beyond products. And now for your hosts, Ted Ings and Cara Delane.
Howdy, everyone, and welcome to the After Dark with the Fixed Ops Roundtable. Look at all these cowboys and cowgirls, Ted.
Cara, I am so happy that you've got your hat tonight, Cara.
And you too, Ted.
Yeah, so first time. There we go. And look at this amazing lineup of featured guests. Wow, to start the year off, Tully Williams. Holy, Sir Tully, welcome.
Well, welcome. I am so excited to be on at night too, Ted. And I hear there's a roundup coming up. What's going on with that?
Yeah, okay, we're going to hear about that in just a moment. Mike Weldon, welcome back. Robert Miggs from Carter Myers is with us tonight. Soon to be Sir Sean Kingery is with us as well tonight. The technician extraordinaire, Marco Zwanenberg. We're forever in your debt. Marco, good evening. And Coralie Zueff is here tonight. Welcome, everybody. So, yeah. Cara, we're live, right?
We are live on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. So hopefully everybody's watching is sharing the video and commenting down below to answer any questions that they might have about all of these good-looking cowboys and cowgirls.
Cool. And a quick shout out to our exclusive sponsors tonight, BG Products. Thank you for all you do, Partners Beyond Products. So, again, a great friend of the Fixed Ops Roundtable and Fixed Ops community. All right, so Tully, you're asking when that roundup is headed.
Yeah, we want to know when the roundup is, but I'm telling you, I'm waiting.
All right, Cara, this is you.
It's happening here soon, Tully. So hopefully you're saddled up and ready. You got a lasso. I see the cowboy hat because it's happening January 23rd, 24th, 25th, and 26th. So if you haven't got your complimentary tickets yet, grab them now at fixedopsroundtable.com. So
the folks who are on the screen tonight are on the Automax TechVenger's panel coming up, Cara, at that Fixed Ops Roundtable. Roger Koenig, good evening to you. And Tully, we got an amazing conversation coming up there, talking about onboarding. Talk to us a little bit about that.
When you look at Fixed Ops, the crucial is we sell hours. We're in the repeat and referral business, but it starts with great technicians like Marcos, right? So how do we attract and hire great technicians? This panel, we had an unbelievable comments. We learned from each other. How do we make people feel good in the hiring process? It starts with great interviews, getting them excited, and showing them the pathway to success. Then when they come, they can have that success. As I like to say, technicians do what? Go home tired and rich every day.
Marco, do you want to have anything to say about that?
I'm so tired but rich that no, but Tully is completely right. So one of the main things for me as a technician coming into your company for an interview is total transparency. Let me talk to other technicians. Let me see your parts department. Let me see hours, not just dreamed up hours, but actual hours. And let me just walk around, even by myself. Let me see how easy is it to get cars in and out. What's your tool room look like? What is your computer setup? All these simple things. But one of the most important things is, and I keep hammering on that, is culture. We can feel it. If you come walking in, if your company has a great culture, it will just lay over you like a nice, cozy, fuzzy blanket. You can feel it. You can see it in everyone that works there. You have that, 50% of the battle is done.
Marco, very well said. Hey, Mike, you and I were talking earlier, and you said you've learned a lot, as we have all. We've learned a lot from this Automax TechVenger's panel. Talk to us about that, Mike.
I've learned from this whole format. Every time that I tune in, I can't get off. It's addicting. So I can't wait for the end of January to come because I'm ready to tune in now. No, truly, you're among leaders and you're among people that inspire others and that are visionaries, trying to change the business, trying to grow our business. And, years past, we've done a very poor job of doing that. And I think that, you can be in this business a long time, which I have been, but it doesn't mean you can't learn something new. And I've learned so much from this group of people and everybody else that it's bode well. I just love being part of this.
John Frazier says culture is 100% of the battle.
Amen.
And Kara, we've learned a lot about dealership culture as well.
I think that's the hottest topic in the industry right now, Ted. Everyone's talking about it, and they should be.
Yeah, a lot of great things happening. Robert Miggs, wow, you've really come on strong in the last half of the last year and now this year. Congratulations to you. And I see you everywhere on social media.
I'm trying, sir. I'm trying to get myself out there, trying to put myself out there and really give back to the kind of the establishment that's made me successful and done so well for my family and myself that I want to see other people get into the industry and keep it going strong. And it really has. It's been very fruitful, and a lot of people don't understand that sometimes.
Right.
Yeah. A lot of shout outs to the folks chiming in on the chat. Sean Butler was here a little bit earlier today. Good evening, Sean, and Tony Owens here as well. Cora Lee, you are on a lot of panels here on the Roundtable. So we're seeing a lot of you everywhere as well.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and I'm enjoying talking to everybody who loves this industry as I do and wanting to share it with everybody and this next generation coming up as well. Spread the love.
Yes. And on the orientation on the new hires, Corley, you made a good point, on that panel that, share that with us about what the technicians need, some of the things that came up, if you don't mind.
Okay, yeah. So, making sure that they can be as efficiently as possible, as quickly as possible. I was at one shop recently who had an apprentice starting and took her quite a while to get up to speed, about a month. And then after speaking with her, found out she didn't have the resources that she needed to be as efficient. So making sure that we can provide those right off the bat, like logging into computers, where to go to ask for help, etc. Making sure she has the procedures for everything.
Yep. And Jeff Daniel, exactly right. Jeff, you and I spoke a little bit earlier today. Sean Kingery, coming over to you. Talk to us a little bit about what's going on.
Yeah, during the panel, which again I think is our 7th recording of the panel, we give Ted and Kara a lot of shout outs and a lot of compliments about what you guys bring to the Fixed Op table. Marco, a ton of this goes to you. You're the technician voice. It is what it is. I know Ted and I did a segment last week actually, and I got to tell you, your name was brought up a couple different times.
I'm honored. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Even though I told you should probably retire, but that's another conversation we'll have later. but anyway, side joke for anyone. But guys, it goes back to what Marco taught us all probably in segment 3 or 4. A technician makes his decision in the first 2 or 3 days whether it's going to be a good culture fit for him. You go through all the headaches and all the time and all the painstaking of recruiting somebody, finding somebody, and whether it's a recruiting firm that you use or you find them yourself, you waste all that time and money, and in the first 3 days you destroy it by not making them feel welcome. Or as we talked about in the panel, you put them with the cancer in the shop and you expect a good results. We're all guilty of it. We've all tried it. We all fail at it, and we continue to do it. As I said, you got to have a plan. You need to know how they are in their first 24 hours, how they are in their first week. Take them to lunch, get them out of that environment and listen to them. The word culture isn't overused. It's underused, quite frankly.
Mm-hmm.
We now have our mans that say, what would Marco do, by the way? It's a real thing. And it's true. What would Marco do on his first week as a technician? Ted, you asked Ed Marco, do you remember, or he was asked of it, do you remember his first day there? And he goes, listen, I'm a seasoned vet, but I moved my family down here and I was nervous. You gotta realize that. This is a new environment. I moved myself up from Florida. I'm from Florida to Wisconsin, up here by yourself. It's uncomfortable, and I'm an old man, and it's uncomfortable. It's not a great environment. And by the way, I need to apologize. The hat's in the saddle at the store, and weather didn't permit me to go back and get it tonight. But again, it's all about the culture you're creating. It's the culture you have in the shop. And if it's a bad culture, don't invite them into it because it's going to fail. It will fail every single time.
Well, give credit where it's due. It was Joe Lockhart who asked the question. And
yeah, it was.
Marco, take us back. Joe Lockhart from Automax Recruiting asked you your first day on the job. If you remembered it, you said yes. And to take us through what was going through your mind, a seasoned technician, your first day there at Naples.
Well, actually, it started before. As soon as I started talking to the dealership here, I was like, shall I not? I flew down here. I spent better part of a Saturday here looking around. They allowed me to talk to other technicians, walk around the place. But still, I'm making money in place A. I'm supporting my family. I know where everything is at. And now I'm going to go over here. Yeah, you say all this, but so yes, I was nervous. I was definitely nervous walking in, but that didn't last long. They took care of me right away. They gave me a guarantee for the first couple of weeks, actually, and I was given all the tools that I needed to quickly pick up everything and start producing. I think I leaned on my guarantee 1 week, the first week, and after that, I was already turning enough hours to go over the guarantee. Once I switched from Mercedes to Jaguar Land Rover, it was in town, so I didn't have those nerves about it. But switching brands, I was well over a decade with Mercedes, master certified. I knew these things at the back of my head, and now I'm going to Brits. I'm like, oh boy, what am I doing? What am I doing? But culture won on this one by far. From day one, all my logins worked. The shop foreman was helping me everywhere he could, introduced me to everyone in the place, technicians, parts, advisors, sales. I had to support everywhere. And again, being a seasoned technician, that really, really helped me feel part of the crew, feel welcome, feel needed, appreciated. And you could just feel the culture there, that little warm, fuzzy blanket, it was over me. And it worked out great.
Marco, Tully talked to us about making sure that our technicians are successful right from the outset. Tully, take us through some of the things, because I was very impressed with a lot of the things you said.
You know, it starts with a plan. I think Robert said it, and of course our good friend Ed Roberts always talks about a plan, right? And he's probably the master at it. But we want to bring a technician in, and the first thing they say is, what's in it for me? Where am I going to go? We open up the book and say, here is the pathway for you, technician. If you're an hourly or even a porter, right? We can show them the pathway to a technician all the way up to $57 an hour. We want to show them the path before they're hired, and then we talk about the path when they're hired all the time. Where do you want to go? How can I make more money for you and your family? How can you be successful? That's the ticket. Make it fun. What industry is like the automotive industry? This is the best industry ever, right? Technicians are vital to a dealership, right? And dealerships have finally, because of you, Ted, come out of their woodwork and said, fixed ops is where it's at. And it starts by selling hours. And how do you sell hours? Great technicians at your store.
Whew. Mike Weldon, powerful stuff from our friend Tully there.
Yeah, I'm holding onto my armchair here. It's levitating. And we had a panel talking about hours before, and I got to tell you, if we can convince everybody to start changing their mindset, one, we're going to attract more people to our business. People are going to get excited. They're going to want to join, and because this has been a great career for me. Starting as a technician and then working my way up through the process. And I want everybody to have that opportunity for the same path. Some may not want to take that channel because I'm only 32 and I look like I'm in my 60s. But
amen, Mike. Amen.
But that totally spot on. John, everybody's spot on. Yeah, Marco, it's fun having a technician of your caliber because one, you challenge us. And I love challenges. And it takes us to the next level so that the next person that comes in, we treat them the same way or we even treat them better. And we get better and better and better and better.
Excellent. Mike, Hansel Automotive Group, a good-sized group there. Same thing with Tully at Nilo. We were all taking notes from Robert Miggs at Carter Myers. Robert, walk us through the onboarding, some of the things that you're going to share on that panel in terms of what Carter Myers does at your 24 locations?
23 right now. We're working on 24. I think it's in the mix there still, but yeah, no. So one of our things is real key. Like Tully said, we're process driven here. So our onboarding is very intricate. It has everybody in all the leadership departments that are going to be hiring that person involved, down to all the tools and equipment they're going to need, computers, phones, access to what programs that we use and what they'll need to be driven in. And one of the kind of sweet spots on, I guess you could say, for the welcome package is, the ownership hands out welcome packages to all the new employees. Being that we're an ESOP company, they get a little welcome letter, a little, you're an owner placard for their car to hang in their parking spot, and an owner wristlet brand, and they get a shirt and a welcome letter from the owner, all as part of that. And then obviously there's the onboarding aspect of going to the ownership meeting and doing the onboarding meeting with everybody in our district group there, and doing that as well, all led by Liza and her dad still. So third and fourth generation, both still leading that. It's pretty cool. It's nice to have.
And I see a lot of the things that you post and others from Carter Myers post on social media. You've also got that CMA Day. What is that all about?
So CMA Day goes in 3 different variations. Once a month, we meet as an entire company. It's live training to work as a group. We have trainers that are on there. Some pretty popular names that you've probably seen. One, Glenn Lundy, is one of our trainers that comes in there. That's for the whole entire company. Week 2 is all department leads and managers get together, and we have another focused meeting group with that. And then they do a third one, which is all focus groups with the general managers and top leaders and executive managers. Wow. So pretty much all month long, at least once a week, there's some form of group training throughout the entire company that ties us all in.
And Robert, you came from a great group, the Kelly organization with Chris Saraceno. You've seen some contrast there. Great group in Pennsylvania and now here in Virginia.
It has, yeah. I had a great group up there. Family life led us to make some different leaps and decisions here, and we did the same thing like Sean did. We moved 6 hours away, moved our entire family down here, and they were nothing but helpful the whole way through with making sure, one, onboarding was easy and I had access when I got down here, and everything with setting us up with realtors, setting us up with a temporary apartment for myself while I was down here. My family was up north and helping us get settled in. So it's been good, and everybody was good all the way around, both sides.
Hey, Sean, you all settled up there in the cold country or what?
Not settled yet. I'm still in the apartment. Hopefully, God willing, and the creek doesn't rise, February 26th, I'll be in the new house in Wisconsin. I'll be officially a Wisconsinite. The Hellcat won't be brought out yet. The Hellcat's probably got a couple months of storage yet, but I will February 26th officially be a Wisconsinite.
Do you have your cheese head yet?
I've had a cheese head for a long time, my friend. I'm a guy who's been to 107 Green Bay Packer games, and I will be at the Detroit Lions Packer game on Sunday night.
Wow.
But, real quick, I want to give a shout out. Something Jeff Daniels said in the comments, that your best recruiter should already work for you. That couldn't be any more spot on, guys. I do believe good people surround themselves around good people. You need to listen to your people they know. They go to schools. They know who the good and the bad are. They know who the people who sit in the back of the room are there because they have to be there. Talk to your own people. Your own people are going to be your best recruiters. Talk to the tool guy. The tool guy knows. He knows who pays the bills. Listen, you give the tool guy $1,000, he'll give you the names. I promise you every single time.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
He will.
Love that. Yeah. Marco, we've talked about the tool truck and the tool guy a couple times.
Absolutely. He's like my mistress. an expensive one, actually. But yeah, no, it's that's something that a lot of people forget is that technicians do have to buy and maintain their own tools. And I'm not one of those techs that just has to have every tool on the truck, but good stuff is not cheap, and it has to be repaired. It has to be maintained. So having a good relationship with your tool guy is really important. And they can work for you too, like was said. Like give him $1,000 and he'll get you some people in. But once again, what it all comes down to, culture. Your culture sucks. No one's going to tell anyone that you want to work there. Your culture is great. You're going to want to share that. Like, dude, now the place I work at, you got to come check this out.
Coralie, you shared a couple things with us about women working at the dealership. Talk to us about that. Because a lot of things may not seem obvious to everybody at the dealership. Take us through that if you don't mind.
Yeah, so I do keep the pulse on all of where I live in Canada, on our programs for like first year, second year, third year, and fourth year technicians, as well as what female technicians are at dealerships, independents, and at chains as well. So we do have quite a big network here of female technicians. I don't know what it's like, you know, in the States, if you have that same thing. Like, I think class is going through, I'd say at least 10% are female right now. So just making sure that the dealership has a good environment for them. Like when I first started off taking the technician foundation course, like shops didn't have bathrooms that women could use. You'd have to go somewhere else just to use one, for example. So, you know, and even though I've worked on cars, and no, it's kind of weird when you're explaining to a customer, it's like, oh, should I say that it was a female working on their car? So just getting used to that as well, and making it a comfortable environment for them, and making sure that we're comfortable referring to them as well. There's a lot of great technicians who are females. They're excellent at diagnosing items and getting into those small little crevices, like Marco mentioned, you know, behind dashes and such like that. So that'd be one of the big ways of recruiting technicians, is looking at what females are up and coming and making sure that we have a comfortable environment for them.
That seems to be Mark. One of his expertise is, getting in there and working behind the dashboard and so on. Now, there's a couple new panels coming out of this roundtable, Tully, that we're going to do for the first time. One of them involves Marco and Coralie, and it's about communication between the technician and the service advisor.
Wow.
And just so happens that in this case, one is male, one is female. Marco, take us through some of the things that we can expect on that segment at the roundtable.
Oh, it's great. I really thoroughly. I think we had a great discussion, a great panel there. I think that the one thing that really gets me is the female thing. Really, a good technician is genderless to me. We have a female technician where I work at now, and she's great. She's new, but just like how a new male would be, it has nothing to do with gender. It has to do with either you get it or you don't. And in all my years, including as a team leader at Mercedes, I have seen them come and go. I had one guy start, he brought his toolbox in. I thought it was his lunchbox. Like, what are we doing here? I kind of don't like the whole term female, but that's a whole different story. But no, we had a great communication about that, and I think that Coralie and I both, learned a few valuable things from each other, and we all really want the same thing. So if we can just streamline and tweak the processes just a little bit, it's all about speed, clear, precise communication.
Yeah, for sure.
What do you think, Coralie?
Everybody as being a person, right? However, going into some environments, just making sure that everyone has a bathroom.
Exactly. Yes.
Everyone should have one.
True.
That's important.
Communication, I think, between a service writer and a technician is crucial. And when we look at all of our stores, when we have great software with taking those great videos, taking those great pictures, right? Having that great inspection done of recommendations we tell our family members, right? The communication of the technician to the writer to the technician, and ultimately to the customer is how you sell great things to customers to keep their car running. We're not selling stuff we don't need. We're selling things that the customer needs. And that communication helps that. When the communication breaks down, or they don't trust each other, or it's just burdened with crap, that's where it doesn't work. The relationship between the tech and the writer is the most valuable, probably, communication ever in a store. And because they cannot work without each other, they have to have each other to be successful. And when we look at our stores, and I'm sure all the stores on this panel, when you look at that superstar tech or that superstar writer, they have great relationships with writers and technicians.
Absolutely, Totally. If that communication is on spot, and if all technicians would do their job and all advisors would do their job, the only time you see a fire truck is at the damn Christmas parade.
There was a good comment about having an
we have weekly opportunity meetings, and we need to make sure that we include the technicians into that.
Mike, say it again if you don't mind.
So we have weekly opportunity meetings.
Okay.
And they're early in the morning, and we have technicians want to participate. They come into those meetings, and we cross communicate and open up the lines and I tell you, it's worked wonders.
It does.
Because now everybody has a sense of appreciation for each other, and they work a lot closer trying to resolve whatever we're up against.
And Sean, at your new location there in Wisconsin, you've got a lot of seasoned technicians. I'll say it that way.
We do, and as we're working through it, and as we were just working through it with Joe, is you've got a lot of 40-year technicians here that, guys, they're getting old and retired, and it was mentioned earlier, and I mentioned it during the panel, guys, you have to career path these new employees too. There has to be a career path, and it doesn't just stop at, to Tully's point, $57 an hour. I appreciate the number, but they also understand at age 35 and 40, their body's getting old and tired.
Yeah.
They are. There's got to be a career path, and that could be to management. I mean, Mike, you're an example of that. You came from the backside. And that's a tough transition to make. We all know it. Some can do it, some can't. Kudos to those that can, but if you give a good career path. But Ted, to answer your question, yes, we have to start over. We have to build a team. We have to build a bench. They've let the business get a little bit away to the fact of you've got all these 40-year technicians. Great. They've got a ton of knowledge, and boy, do they know cars. But what are you going to do in 5 years? Because they're getting tired. Reality is they're getting tired.
Amen.
Marco, like to add anything on that?
Oh, he's absolutely right. The toll that it takes on your body day after day after day, it's enormous. And sometimes you have to do these jobs that will just wreck your hands for days on end. We have to come up as an industry with a perfect solution to take what's up here in my knowledge and being able to carry that to the next generation in such a way that they fully understand it, that they can incorporate it on a daily basis, and then in their turn, pass it on as well. I think that's really what we have to be very cognizant of and for the future of our industry.
Yeah. Robert, I think back to that conversation that you and I had many months ago with Ed Roberts before you came on the roundtable, and how a lot of this got started with you. What are some of your thoughts, Robert, over there?
Really, I just summarized the whole group. Everything's been phenomenal. I think Mike said it great. We're all learning from each other. Everything that we do with this is all to better ourselves and to better the whole industry for what we're trying to see ourselves at. So, for anybody to give up their time to be here tonight, all I say is thank you, commend everybody for it. And, it's just been an honor and pleasure really to kind of work and be around this industry and with this group for the third time, I should say. And then, to many more, I hope so. And
I see Joe Diggs on with us tonight. I've seen some of Joe's posts on Facebook as well, and he's asking if you're gonna get a cowboy hat.
It was a loaner one. I gotta get my own, I guess.
Right, cool. Well, excited to have this panel back at the roundtable, and Tully, you've been involved since the very beginning, and you've seen a lot of growth and a lot of new topics and new discussions. And Tully, this is going to be a 4-day event.
Ted, the success of this panel, the success of Fixed Ops coming out of the limelight, this is because of you, my good friend. And I'm telling you, I know Sean and I and Michael, all these people on this panel, and Ed, we thank you from the bottom of our heart, because we've always struggled to get in the limelight to show that Fixed Ops matters. Fixed Ops, oh my God, is profitability to the store. Fixed Ops drives retention to sell more cars. That's and right. Ted, you have brought that to the limelight when it started as a live event, and then it went to the very first, the first event during COVID, which struggled, and now the roundup with 4 days. Holy Toledo! This is because you are bringing it to our attention, and all of us on this panel can't thank you enough.
No, you're too kind, my friend. You're too kind.
Could not agree more. Could not agree more.
All right. So, Kara, when is that happening again?
We better get ready, because it's coming up January 23rd, 24th, 25th, and 26th. So, Rob, if you need a cowboy hat, I can send you one. And if you haven't got your complimentary tickets yet, grab them now at fixedopsroundtable.com.
I think Kara has a birthday during those days too, if I'm not wrong.
Woo!
I do believe that Sir Tully and Sir Ed are going to sing. We're all three going to sing together, just so you're aware.
Yes!
It's coming. It is coming.
All right. That will be something to experience.
I can't wait to see what that looks like.
That will be something you will not want to do live. You'll want to be able to edit that one, Ted. I can promise you.
Yep. And Sean, with cowboy hats or?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I'm all about that. My cowboy hat will be back on tomorrow. I'll be back at the office tomorrow. My cowboy hat will be on. I promise.
All right. All right, we'll leave it there. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for being with us tonight. Thanks for the panel. Coralie, Marco, Mike Weldon, Robert, Sean Kingery, and Tully Williams, and Cara Delane, Cara. So look at this. Look at all that's going on. And Tony Owens, of course. And as he says, her new nickname, Tony the Chameleon. So
Cara the Cowgirl now.
for this event.
Yep. I'm getting ready for the Wild West. Thank you, everybody, for being on. I can't wait to hear about this panel during the Fixed Ops Roundtable, the Wild West, happening this coming January. But until then, we will see y'all on Monday at 8 p.m.